Welcome to episode 78 of the Epilogue Lady podcast. My name is Bente and I'm coming to you from Vesterålen, northern Norway, where I live with my husband and 3 cats. You can find me on Instagram as Arctic Crafts, on Facebook and Etsy as Arctic Crafts by Bente, and on Ravelry as Arctic Crafts 65. There's also a group on Ravelry and there's a Ko-fi page, and all of this is linked down below. Today is overcast and a little bit chilly, and that works in more than one way because I can sit here and record right inside the windows and get the perfect light for the recording without risking having any sunshine straight into my eyes. I can also wear one of my FOs without it being too hot. So overcast works for recording podcasts. I have a bit of admin, and not just a bit, but quite a lot, because one make-along has finished and I drew the winners June 1st, and another make-along has started, and that started June 1st. And first I'll announce the winners. The winners already have gotten a message from me that they won. I've heard back from 2 of you. 3 of you. And I just have to go check my notes. The personalized mug or tumbler from Knitswag was won by Peanut15 on Ravelry. All I know about you is that your name is Susan and that you live in Texas. You have already contacted me, and Kelly at Knitswag, I have given you her details, so you two work it out. And the yarn basket made by my husband's colleague was won by Ravelry name Valerie Gill. You I know. So unless I hear anything else, I'm sending the prize to your postbox on Monday. And the main prize, the 2 skeins of yarn from my shop, was won by Leslie of the Not Quite Enough Yarn podcast, Ravelry name Knitting or Death. And the stitch markers on Instagram was won by a local lady, and I thought that was so much fun. She is from Kabelvåg, and that's one of the closest towns to me in Lofoten. So that was so much fun, and that was the prize for Instagram. So and there were loads of gorgeous tees in the Ravelry thread. So if you want to knit a t-shirt and aren't sure what pattern to choose, please go by look at the thread in my Ravelry group, because loads of beautiful t-shirts. And then the make-along that started June 1st, it's my traditional, I can call it traditional, this is the 2nd year, but it will keep on going, is the Arctic Summer of Socks. And it's what it sounds like. We're knitting socks in the summer. And the reason why I started a sock make-along for summer is that my favorite project to knit on in summer are socks. They're portable, they're small projects, so even if it's warm, you can still keep knitting. If I knit something larger than socks in summer, I usually have a sweater project or 2 hanging around in the summer as well. And on days like this, not a problem. I can knit on a sweater, but if it's warm and sunny, I prefer socks. And it's going on for the entire summer. It started June 1st and it won't end until the August 31st. Last year I did a prize drawing at the end of each month, and then I did a grand prize drawing at the end of August. This year I'm doing it a bit different because I'm going to dye advents. I'm not sure where I'm going to be throughout the summer because we might go on trips. And it doesn't sound like too much work, but it actually is, because when you have to fix the thread in Ravelry, you have to draw the winner, pack the prize, get it shipped out. So this year I'm doing several prizes at the end of August, and it's going to be at least 5 prizes, including, and I'm also doing a prize for Instagram. I'm not sure how many prizes, because there are still prizes coming in the mail. Lots of people have been kind enough to donate prizes for this. So if I find out that there's not a lot of entries and I have loads of prizes, I know I'm going to have 2 more make-alongs this year, because September 1st they're back to back the rest of the year, because this ends at August 31st. Then September 1st, my Spooky Mal starts, Spooky Mal 2022, and that ends October 31st. And then November 1st, my Grinch Mal 2022 starts. And both of those also started last year. I had them last year for the first time. So maybe I'll just save some prizes for the other 2 make-alongs. And my prize bin is far from full. So if anybody had that prize they want to donate, please do so. Because I have, as I said, the more prizes I can offer at the end of a make-along, the better. And I have one more thing in admin, and that's a coupon code. My bestie Sue in Canada has an Etsy shop, the Tangled Skein CA, and she makes beautiful project bags and stitch markers. And she has offered a coupon code for my subscribers, and it's Epilogue Lady 20. 20% off everything in her shop, and it's for the rest of the year. And she also has a sale this weekend. She is running a birthday sale. So go ahead, and I would take advantage of the fact that she has a sale and you have a coupon code. Just saying. I'll be showing you some stuff she sent me in show and tell, because she sent me a care package, and most of it is put in its right place, but the things that are fabric and yarn related, I'm going to show you. So then I just have to check my show notes so I don't forget anything, because I had quite a lot of admin today. And as usual, I have limited time to record this, because hubby has a shorter day on every other Friday, and it's of course my podcasting Fridays, but it's not a big problem because he can do some paperwork when he's done teaching. So I'll just send him a message. Now you can come home. You can come home now. So I won't edit this probably until tonight. I'm going to try with a Premiere again, because I think it's quite a lot of fun to chat with people. So this might show up as a Premiere. I'm not sure why I'm telling you that, because when you see this, it's already going. Anyways, knitting. And we'll start with the FO I'm wearing. I didn't think I was going to have this one finished, because I had other stuff to knit on. I had several pairs of socks I suddenly decided to cast on. But when I cast this on, I become monogamous when I have a project on the needles that I really won't finish, because this is both a process knit and a project knit. It's a really fun knit, and I really love the finished product. And maybe I should, you know what this is. It's a Rocket Tee by Tanis Fiber Arts. And this one, I knit this one with a 3.5mm needle, because I wanted it a tiny bit more fitted than the other one. I wanted less ease, and it worked out perfectly, and it's the perfect length. And the thing with this one is that it's knit with, it's striped, and I haven't used any alpaca or mohair in this one. I just striped it. And the yarns are my yarns. It's Purple Rain, Polldale Sock, and Nebula Fine Merino Fingering. And those are the two colors I used for this one. And I love, and the vents on the sides, I'm not sure what else to call them. This is brilliant because that makes the air circulate inside it, so it doesn't get that hot when you knit a t-shirt. I'm going to start another one, and I probably won't be able to help myself. I want to start it today, as soon as I'm finished with this podcast, because I have a skein of cotton. I think it's a wool cotton blend. I've knit. I'm going to put up a picture of the sugar maple that I knit with the same yarn but in different colors. And I will have plenty of yarn for a rocket sea. I'll probably will end up not using the entire thing, but I'll see as soon as I cast it on and I come a bit down the body. But I want to knit one in a cotton blend because that's even more versatile in summer. And this one is probably going to be used in winter as well, as a vest over a short long sleeve t-shirt. So that's my first FO. And I was talking about socks that suddenly jumped on my needles. The first pair of socks I cast on was with some yarn from Area 51. That's been in my stash for ages. I bought it to knit socks for hubby, but I had a lot of other yarns I wanted to knit, and even though this is self-striping yarn, it's kind of boring colors. But I finally knit him some socks, and he wanted shorties, and I think that's maybe why I finally cast them on, because I knew shorties. The pattern, there's a pattern of sorts in these. It doesn't show up too well because one of the stripes are variegated, but what I do sometimes when I knit with self-striping to break them up a bit, I slip every fourth stitch when the color changes. Whenever the color changes in the round, doesn't matter where it is, I start slipping every fourth stitch. And when I make it the entire way around, I start knitting every stitch. And that makes this fun slip stitch effect in the color changes. It shows much better when the stripes are more contrasting, but you can tell. And the colorway name is Baby Yoda Frap, and it's Area 51. And now we can start wearing them because now I've showed them to you. The contrast is some commercial sock yarn. When I come by commercial sock yarn in any of my local yarn shops on sale, and it's a color I don't have in my stash already, I buy some. Because 50 grams of commercial sock yarn is enough for a couple of pairs of socks, and in self-striping I never do the cuffs contrasting. I like sorry if you're wobbly, because Snape suddenly decided he wanted to jump up on the table. Hopefully he just sat down and decided just to sit there staring at me. I've probably forgotten something important. So that's shorties for hubby. And then I came across a really fun pattern on Instagram. And I had the perfect yarn in my stash, so I had to cast them on. And this was a really, really fun knit. And as you can tell, they're different. And that's because I only had 50 grams of the contrasting yarn. It was a 50 gram skein I bought from a Swedish dyer called Vikevira. She has an Etsy shop, and of course I'll link her down below. And Other yarns are commercial sock yarns, again. And this was a really fun knit. They flew off my needles. So stranded colorwork socks normally fly off my needles because they're so much fun. I did modify the pattern a bit because there was supposed to be this much white as the other, and then you started the toe. But I have short feet. I think my shoe size is 6.5. 37 European at least. And I had to do a rather abrupt decrease. So I did the same decrease as you use in hats on the toe to make the toe shorter. That sounds weird, but I think you know what I mean. So I didn't want to cut one of these. I could of course do it exactly as the pattern says and then gift the socks. I might do that. I'm going to knit another pair of these. And I might do that as the pattern says and then maybe do a giveaway or something with the finished pair of socks. That could be fun. I should actually do a giveaway with something I knit soon because I have loads of sweaters that are too big for me, loads of knitted sweaters that because I had the opposite problem of what I normally have. Normally my clothes would shrink in the closets. I'm not sure if that happens to you. Somebody said, I'll just translate this directly into English. Somebody says, do you know what calories are? And I said, I think I do. Well, calories are tiny monsters that live in your cupboards and shrink your clothes. I like that definition. Sounds like something. It works because it can also work as tiny monsters that expand your clothes, make them bigger. And that's also calories, I suppose. But I have quite a few hand-knitted sweaters that I'm never going to wear again because I have decided to get rid of all the clothes that are too big for me because then I won't have anything to wear if I gain weight again. That might sound strange to you, but to me it makes sense. So either I'm doing a giveaway or I'm putting them up for sale. But I'm not sure I can sell sweaters knit from patterns that are on sale. I'm not sure. If you have any feedback on copyrights and selling of garments, comment below. Because I would love to get at least some money for them. Because it's a lot of work to knit a sweater. And not all of them are knitted in hand-dyed yarns. Some of them are knitting commercial yarns, so I haven't that much of an expense on the yarn, but the knitting, the same amount of work. So that was a tangent. I think I have to change the name of the podcast again from Epilogue Lady to Tangent Lady, or I could call this an epilogue in the middle of the podcast. Or it's not the middle of the podcast. I haven't even shown you my last FO yet. And these are on my acrylic sock blockers that I use for blocking itself. And this is also a pair of stranded colorwork socks. And this is the outside of them. And this is the Cornicette socks by Laura Penrose. And these went extremely fast because this colorwork is, as you can see, there are short intervals, so you don't have to worry about catching your floats or anything. I knit these on a 9mm circular because I think knitting stranded colorwork is so much easier in the round. I hate using magic loop for that. Magic loop is the best to use for stranded colorwork if you don't like using a 9-inch because you don't have these and it's easier getting ladders between the DPNs if you knit stranded colorwork. And the brilliant thing about this pattern is that she has designed the pattern so that you see these pink lines, only one. Those are there to give you a place where you can put in an afterthought heel. Or you can knit a heel while you're doing the sock, of course. But you have a natural, because I used the pink for the heels and the toes, and I actually had to knit the toe a second time on the first sock because I counted the rounds, and when the sock was finished it was actually big enough for hubby, but it was too tight for him. Otherwise he would have I would give him these socks because he wanted shorties, but they were too tight over here, and stranded, it doesn't help that they're stranded, of course. Less give in the fabric. And then I realized what had happened, because the pink yarn I've used in these is a sport weight. It's my gold sport in the colorway Headless Flamingo, by the way. And so counting rounds won't work. So I measured them, and I actually had to remove that much and do the toe again. So as I said, you can put the toe wherever you want. If you want shorties like I did, you just put the heel in the first stripe. If you want a longer leg, and you just keep going. And I didn't even finish the first chart. There were more to go at the end here. And these I will also knit again. I'm thinking on just knitting a tube with this pattern and make a thumb opening in one of these pink stripes and make a pair of mittens or fingerless mitts in this pattern. And these, I've shown these, so now I can start wearing them because I wear shorties in summer. Hand knitted shorties all summer. And if it's really hot, I don't wear socks. I wear cotton socks only when I'm running. These are too... I can't go running in wool socks unless it's late autumn. Then I need to wear wool socks. So that's my last FO. 3 pairs of socks. I have more pairs of socks on the needles, but I haven't knit on them the last 2 weeks. And if I were to show you all my whips, I would be sitting here for quite some time. I have some yarn for another rocket tee. So I should knit that first before I knit the cotton one. But because a long time ago, ages ago, I dyed up 4 skeins in a gradient from mustard to chestnut for me and Sue, so that we could knit a wrap. And I knit the 3 first colors, and then I started waiting for Sue because we were supposed to finish them together, but she never got into the rhythm of that wrap. So eventually we decided, let's just frog this and find another project for them. And we have 4 50-gram skeins each, and that's enough for a rocket tee, and we just stripe it with 4 colors. But I also want a cotton one to wear this summer, so I'm not sure what to do. We might just, she's casting on a rocket tee on her birthday in yarn. I dyed her the alpaca as a custom dye job. So she's not casting on the brown rocket tee yet either. So we might end up doing something different. We'll just see, but I'm casting on the cotton rocket tee today. Hopefully I'll finish it this weekend, because this weekend is a long weekend in Norway. It's Pentecost, I think that's what it's called in England, weekend, and in Norway, the Monday after Pentecost Sunday is a holiday. And Norway is one of the most secular countries in the world, but we love our church holidays. For some reason, I don't think a lot of countries have the Monday Pentecost Monday off work. But in Norway, we do. But I think that says more about the trade unions than it does about the religious... that's a difficult word. Than the fact how religious Norwegians are. I'm struggling today, obviously. I am sorry about drinking coffee on camera, but I need my coffee in the morning. I tried to do this without having my coffee handy, and they tend to be much shorter when I do. By the way, as you probably can tell, I feel much better than I did 2 weeks ago, because I have finished my Halloween advent. I've dyed up all 13 colors, and I wasn't supposed to start dyeing the Halloween advent until June 1st. But because I ordered the yarn and got the yarn really quickly, and I already had sold everything, I decided, why not do everything a month earlier? So I finished the Halloween advent, and I'm starting the Christmas advents this week, or next week. And because I have more Christmas advents to dye, it won't go as fast, because I have to do 2 pans of each colorway. The Halloween advent, I could do only 1 pan. I only needed 1 pan for each colorway, so I could do 2 or 3 colorways at the same time. So I can't do that with the Christmas advent. I can do maybe 2 colorways a day, because I need 2 pans for each colorway. So that's what's happening with Christmas advent. The good thing about the about doing the advent calendars is that it's minis. Everybody gets 1 mini each. So if I have to dye a colorway in 2 different operations, and there's a tiny bit of difference between the dye lots, that doesn't matter, because everybody only gets 1 mini. So that's one of the good things about dyeing up all these minis. And it's been a lot of fun, because I've been able to experiment and try out. I have one color that I really, really loved, and that's probably going to show up in the shop November 1st as a colorway, because I really loved it. I'm actually going to dye up myself a sweater quantity, I think, of that colorway, and knit myself a sweater, but I won't show you that sweater until November 1st. Of course, because I don't want to spoil anything. But, so, as I said, I'm finished dyeing my Halloween advents. And I had to do a big clear out in the spare bedroom, because I needed somewhere to store the minis when I finished dyeing them. But because I don't want to start packing them already, because I have a few extras that I haven't gotten yet. So I have to wait, but I'm not going to I won't start packing the Christmas advents until I finished packing the Halloween advents. So those were my FOs, and quite a lot of tangents. So maybe we should start talking about whips. And my whips, I've only got 2 active whips. And the first one is in this Canadian project bag from Sue. It's my project for the Knitted Beans Inclusion Mal. And I've gotten some work done on this, because this is what I picked up when I finished this rocket tee. And it's a shawl. And my camera and neons, I'm so sorry, but this is neons. And it's called the Wavemaker, and it's by Dan Lee. And the yarns are, this one is from Pew Pew Dye 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 in Canada. And the charcoal is alpaca silk from Sandnes, and the unicorn progress keeper from Hanna of the Corner of Crafts. I figured pink unicorn would work for this shawl. It's going ahead, slowly but surely. For some reason, this is a slow knit. I'm not sure why, because I think it's because I tend to just pack it away and start knitting on something else. Because it's actually a quick knit when I just sit down and knit on it. And it's sort of mindless now because I don't have to check the pattern. I use Knit Companion, and I just move the highlighter along as I knit. And I'm afraid this shawl might be cast off as soon as it's big enough, because you can see how much yarn I have left. And so this is going to be a really big shawl if I keep going by the pattern. And I might finish this as soon as I figure this is big enough. I will have some leftovers, but neon leftovers. This can be used for a lot of things. Among other things, I can knit a pair of film reel socks with this as the contrast color. So that's that whip. Not a lot to talk about. And my second whip is the sweater for hubby, and we'll talk a bit about the bag it's in, because this is a brand new bag. And Sue made me this. And I love cute fabrics with naughty sayings on them. She's making me another one as we speak. And she's making, we're going to be twinsies, because she's making two, one for herself and one for me. And I'll show you that when it gets here. This was part of the care package she just sent me, and I'll show you the yarn and fiber related contents of that care package when I'm doing show and tell. But this is, there's a pocket inside, made from the same fabric. And it's pink. So even better. And in there I have a sweater for hubby. And this is a boring knit. Because it's knitted flat and it's seamed. I could have done it in the round and started doing it back and forth when I came to the sleeves, but I wanted this side seam because I wanted the structure you get when you have a side seam. And the pattern is Malo. I want to say it like that. I'm not sure how you would pronounce it, but it's a really nice sweater. And the progress keeper on this is a gift from Sue. It's a maple leaf, anything Canadian. And I was supposed to, I'm putting up a picture of it. I was supposed to do the same thing. I had the gray instead of the light brown from the pattern, and the dark blue where the navy is in the pattern. But I was convinced that the blue was the main color. It wasn't. It was the contrast color, and I needed 5 skeins of the main color and 4 of the contrast color. So I dyed 5 skeins of blue and 4 skeins of the gray, and it was the other way around. So I had to change it. So hubby's sweater will have the gray at the top. So, but I had to do that change because of that, because I can't dye up more of the gray and more of the gray and be sure that it looks the same as this. And the yarn I'm using for this, I dyed up some of my Highland Sport because it doesn't sell, and I decided I should just dye up some and use myself. I'm knitting myself a sweater of this as well. I'm not sure why this doesn't sell, because I decided lots of people have asked for non-superwash. This is non-superwash Highland wool, and 100%, and it's sport weight, and it's beautiful to knit with, because you can see it's got a heavy twist, and you can tell it's really springy, and I love knitting with it. You get really even gauge. So I'm knitting myself a sweater in this as well, and even though it's 100% Highland wool, it's actually not scratchy. And I'm kind of sensitive to wearing wool next to skin, 100% wool. But so this is really beautiful yarn, and if nobody else wants it, I'll use it myself. But I have some in the shop, but because it doesn't sell, I'm not sure what colorways to dye on it. But if you want such a quantity in this Highland Sport, just contact me and I'll do a custom colorway do a custom dye job for you. But just so you know, it's non-superwash, so speckled colorways are a pain. Anything variegated or semi-solids and tonals works just fine. But if you wanted a sweater quantity of spectacular on Highland Sport, I'm not sure I would agree to that, to put it like that. There's probably ways of doing it, but I can't speckle non-superwash yarn to save my life. I've tried, but it won't work. So this is my Highland Sport. And one of the reasons why I'm not in a rush to finish this is that this is a sweater I'm going to finish, and hopefully finish before hubby starts work again in the fall, because this is a perfect sweater for fall. So that's for him to wear to work. So that was my active whips. And that's what I have. I'm going to cast on, as I said, I'm going to cast on the Rocket Tee later today in the cotton blend, because I want another one. I was thinking about knitting another sugar maple, because that yarn was so perfect for the sugar maple, but I've decided to knit another Rocket Tee instead. And we'll see how much of the yarn I actually use. It's one of those yarns that go gradually. I'm not sure why I'm talking about this when I can actually put this recording on pause and go get it for you so you can see it. And then I'm back with the yarn. Instead of sitting here describing this, I should just go get it. And this is what it looks like. You start in here and work your way out. And this is sort of a gradient, or a fade, if you will. And it's a twister from Hobby, and it's not a wool cotton blend, it's a cotton acrylic blend. And I really love, the only thing about this yarn is it's, let's see, it's 1,000 meters to 250 grams. So there's more than enough on this for a Rocket Tee. So what I'm thinking is I might end up out here somewhere. But what I'm going to do is, no matter where I finish, I think, unless I think I'm going to use this color at the end for the I-cords. So when I finish the sweater, no matter where I am on the sweater, I'm going to take from the outside of the cake to do the I-cord bind off at the bottom, and the I-cord on the neck and at the bottom of the sleeves, depending on how far I get before, because 250 grams is more than enough. I haven't used 200 grams for any of my Rocket Tees. I have plenty of yarn left on this one, but this one I knit a bit shorter than the pattern suggests. So what I might do, I might just do a tunic length Rocket Tee and knit while the yarn lasts and use this for the bind up. Then I get the rocket tee that's long enough to wear over tights. That could be a solution. But if I don't even have the stripes, this might take some time, because then I will have to knit around and around without having to do anything except for the lace in the sides, of course. But I'm going to cast this on today. I just know it, because I want a cotton rocket tee. So that's... sorry, I just bumped you. So that's a new cast on, as well as whips. That will hopefully be a whip in 2 weeks. Maybe an FO. I have a sneaking suspicion that when I cast that one on, I'm going to keep knitting on it. Then we'll start with show and tell. My shop update news is on top, so I have to put that aside to show you the rest of the stuff. First of all, I'm going to show you an acquisition, something I bought. And this is a yarn club, mystery yarn club, but she's put up the yarn club for June, and hopefully everybody has gotten their skein for May, because this is the Knitical Roll Yarn Club from Chromatic Yarns or Corner of Craft. And I bought this because the colorway is Respect the Alpha. It's inspired by some art from Critical Role. One of the characters, Chetney. He's quite the character, and one of his catchphrases is, "You have to respect the alpha." And he, of course, sees himself as an alpha. But when this arrived, I decided, I ordered this to knit socks for hubby. I think it's too pretty for socks, to be honest with you. I see this as part of a fade or something. Or maybe I could knit hubby a hat. I wanted to knit hubby a Musselburgh, because I think I have to go up a needle size for him, because the Musselburghs I knit for myself are too tight for him. But I'm thinking about knitting hubby a Musselburgh, and this would look good in a hat, I think. And I think this blue will make hubby's blue eyes pop a bit. The next acquisition when it comes to yarn is from Sue, and it's a dyer I've always wanted yarn from, but I never could afford it. And then Sue went to Knit City Montreal, and she bought me a skein of La Bien-Aimée. And this is probably going to be hoarded. It's one of those skeins that I'm probably never going to knit up, because it's gorgeous and it's precious, and what should I do with it? So I might as well just frame this and put it on the wall, because it's La Bien-Aimée. And she knows me, obviously. So purple and pinks it is. So that's the rest of the care package from Sue was stationery and a couple of trinkets to put around the house, and everything is put in its place. But there's a picture on Instagram of everything that was in the package. But I'm going to show you. I showed you the project bag, and something else she made for me, or for us, because I asked her to. She's made dice bags for the entire family. One for Isak, one for me, one for hubby, and one for Erlend. So we all have new dice bags. And this fabric was really special because it was actual dice. So, and she didn't have a lot of fabric, so me and Isak. And hubby got the pugs, because he loves pugs. And then Erlend got the minions. So, and something else she sent me was some pictures that she bought on Etsy. And I'm going to take them out of the plastic because there are several in here. I'm going to show you the shop first. That's her logo. And I'm of course going to link her down below as well. And because she linked this shop to me, and because it was kind of pricey to get them shipped here, she bought some for me and shipped them to me. Because I really loved these. You can see why, I suppose. I'm going to frame these and hang them up as a group somewhere, side by side. And I also got a card, and I can show you this because the person getting this doesn't watch my podcast. And this is for my niece. She's a knitter and she loves ravens. So I ordered that for her, and that's going to be part of her birthday present in October. But she doesn't watch my podcast, so I could show you that. And if you, by any chance, watch my podcast, suddenly decide to watch it, so Siveri, there goes your surprise. I just wanted to show it to you because I think it was so pretty. Where did I put the card? There. I of course didn't make a note of the name of the shop, but I already put that at the end of the bottom of the screen. Because editing Bente is much more clear-headed than recording Bente. Not sure why. Something about hindsight is 2020, isn't that the same? So that's what I had for show and tell, apart from my shop update. And that's going to be a tiny, tiny shop update because some of this already is in the shop, but I can show you anyway. My Pride 2022, or I do this for Pride every year. A True Rainbow 7 minis, and I've added some more to the shop on Polldale. So that's already in the shop. And then I have 4 different colorways going into the shop on Sunday night. It's Nebula and Purple Rain. And this is on Polldale. I'm pretty sure both of these are on Polldale. And this is, I'm calling this Purple Rain dark or something. Because I got distracted and I used the wrong color blend for the lightest color. You can tell, right? It's supposed to look like that, and it looks like this. So I'm putting this in the shop as dark Purple Rain, but I have two skeins of that and 2 skeins of that, and these work just as good together as these two does. So if you wanted to knit a rocket tee with these 2 colors, you could of course use these 2 colors as well. And then I dyed up some self-striping. And that's a lot of work because there's a lot of prep work, and it's a bit of work at the end as well. And I have to make gobstoppers when I haven't got the color, because this colorway is already has been in the shop, but the colors didn't look good on the picture I already had in the shop from the last time I had this. So this is Arctic Sunset. I'm still rubbish with the gobstoppers, but I'm better than I used to be. By the way, these doesn't get sent out as gobstoppers. I send out my self-striping in skeins. I just have to make a gobstopper for the pictures. So that's Arctic Sunset as self-striping, and I continue what I have been doing. My self-striping is inspired by mini sets or colorways. And one of my summer colorways is perfect for self-striping. This is Strawberry Pavlova as self-striping. Again, this gobstopper isn't all that, but I had to make it to take pictures. And this is red, pink, and white. 3 colors. Self-striping. So that's Strawberry Pavlova. And both of those will also go into the shop Sunday night at 8 p.m. Central European Summertime. So when after the shameless self-promotion is done with, I don't have a lot of stuff to talk about. Just to, let's see. Just to remind you that the Arctic Summer of Socks started June 1st. And the rules are listed in Ravelry, but it's what it sounds like, socks. And if you knit with my yarn, I forgot to tell you that at the start of the podcast, if you knit with my yarn, you get 2 entries. And all adult-sized socks are allowed. Shorties, okay. Shorties are okay, but if you knit toddler-sized socks or baby socks, you have to post 2 pairs to make it an entry. So sorry, but it has to be kind of fair. And I'm doing I'm separating chatter and FOs for the socks, Arctic Summer of Socks, but I will be drawing a prize for the chatter thread. And I will also be drawing a prize for Instagram. The prize for the chatter thread will probably be stitch markers or something. And the Instagram thread as well. There will be stitch markers. There might be something else depending on how many prizes I actually get in before I draw the prizes at the end of August. So that's it for this time. The epilogue came in the middle of the podcast this time. And I had a couple of epilogues. But I'm going to end this here. And I might see you in the chat thread beside this tonight. But I'll for sure see you in 2 weeks for my next podcast episode. Until then, have a really nice weekend, and I'll see you. Bye bye.